Jesus asks his disciples two questions in today's gospel reading from Matthew. Who do people say that the Son of Man is? And who do you say that I am? These same questions get asked in the Gospel of Mark, but there's one difference that we may not notice. The difference is the location where Jesus was when the questions are asked. In Mark, they were asked as they went on the way into the villages near Caesarea Philippi. When the term the way is used in Mark, it represents the journey of discipleship, the journey of following Jesus. This is important. As followers of Jesus, we need to be asked who we say Jesus is, and not simply be asked once at our baptism, but asked throughout our journey of Christianity, because our answer will shape our hearts, and our hearts will direct our words and our actions. That's good stuff. So why did the writer of Matthew change the location of where the questions were asked? Why did Jesus ask, "Who do you say that I am?" while they were in Caesarea Philippi? The location of Caesarea Philippi had a long history. It was near a trade route that connected Tyre in the west and Damascus in the northeast. At that location, there was also a cave with a great spring that had long served as a sanctuary dedicated to the Greek god Pan. Greek inscriptions and niches carved in the rock are still visible today. In addition to Greek gods, there was also signs of governmental power and authority. About 50 years before this, Herod the Great had built a temple near the spring to honor Caesar Augustus. By the time that Jesus and his disciples visited the region, Caesarea Philippi had been given over to Herod's son Philip, who established the city as the administrative center of his government. And between the time of the Gospel of Mark, when it was written, and the writing of the Gospel of Matthew, the temple in Jerusalem had been destroyed. The listeners of Matthew's Gospel knew that it was in Caesarea Philippi that the Roman soldiers returned to celebrate their government's victory over Jerusalem. Location, location, location. Jesus' question, "Who do you say that I am?" is being asked to his followers while being in the epicenter of the region's economic trade, religious diversity, and governmental power. Mark's questions being asked along the way are important for us to reflect on throughout our Christian journey and in relation to all aspects of our lives, but Matthew's location points us to the specific, asking us, who is Jesus in our lives within our complex relationships with the world and with the authoritative and powerful people that run it? Peter answers Jesus and says, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." A more precise translation is, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." The word Christ meant anointed one. So Peter is saying to Jesus, "You are the anointed one, the Son of the living God." It is you the voice from heaven spoke to and said, "You are my Son, the beloved," and it is you that the voice from heaven told me to listen to. You are the Christ, the Messiah. It is you that I surrender my life to. And as your disciple, as your student, it is your lessons that I will live by and teach to the world. Peter says, "My life is yours." While standing in Caesarea Philippi, Peter's confession that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God, is a proclamation that the rulers of the world are not his rulers, and the un-Christ-like ways of the world that they promote they are not his ways. This is why Matthew has these questions being asked after they make it to Caesarea Philippi. Location, location, location. Jesus is not only asking his disciples these questions, he's also asking us. Who do people say that the Son of Man is? Who do you say that I am? As we ponder and pray on the answers, we should be honest and ask ourselves if our answers, given in both words and actions, would be the same no matter our location when being asked. While sitting here in worship, who do you say Jesus is? What if you were standing in front of an encampment of unhoused children of God? Who do you say Jesus is there? Who would you say Jesus is if you were standing in a war zone like Gaza, Ukraine, or Iran? What if you were in the equivalent of Peter standing in Caesarea Philippi? What if you were standing on the steps of the U.S. Capitol? And even more pointed, what would our answer be if Jesus asked us the moment we walked into a voting booth? Location matters. Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it." Peter's answers in word and deed became the foundation of the people of the way. That is what we now call the church. As Jesus dwells in us and we in him, the responsibility of maintaining a firm foundation in the Christian faith has been bestowed upon the baptized, upon you and me. So when Jesus asks us, who do we say that he is? Let our answers be so in line with the Gospels, so in line with Jesus' own words and actions, that he might give us a solid new nickname too. Amen.